दिस इज अनदर एपिसोड नंबर 5 आणि चक्क मराठीत 5 म्हणलेलो आहे कारण की हा अस्सल गोंधळचा 5वा एपिसोड आहे. अँड टू ट्रान्सलेट दिस इन इंग्लिश, दिस इज अस्सल गोंधळ's 5th episode and we are going to discuss about a lot many issues which were not discussed before in the last 4 episodes, and this is some sort of a patchwork going on. So number one is in India, visibility goes across the subgenres of metal. There is an issue of collating the information, permanent stage of sort where bands come and go, but the things remain the same. Something like that. 2023 and 24 in terms of events, visibility across, if you say, Western music was increased. However, there was decline within metal because in some cities where the bands are performing and the number of metal bands are more, they had issues. Venues were being shut down by the local authorities. The subjective availability of the artists and musicians, how they take metal, and if they think metal is a subculture. So I recently came across a Wikipedia page, a discussion about whether metal is a music form or is it a subculture. Because what factors contribute to declining visibility of metal culture, shifting between the genres. Somebody who plays metal and want to do a commercial successful career, he shifts between the genres. He does gigs between blues, rock, jazz. She does gigs between blues, rock, jazz. Does Bollywood gigs. That is number one. Number two is they are looking at it commercially through the regional language industry, Bollywood industry, music education industry, if you can call it. Third income generation source, which is streaming platforms. These three are major commercially driven areas where you can see that the subjective availability of the artist is. त्याचमुळे कधी कधी असं होतं की तुम्ही असं बोलू शकत नाही की डिक्लाइन व्हिजिबिलिटी होतीये की नाही, बिकॉज एकच म्युझिशियन मल्टिपल बँड्स मध्ये असतो. वन म्युझिशियन इज देअर प्रेझेंट इन मल्टिपल बँड्स अँड इन मल्टिपल जॉनर्स. दॅट इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट कॉमन थिंग्स यू कॅन सी ऑल ओव्हर द वर्ल्ड. And that is also why we cannot say visibility of metal is declining. However, on the cultural aspect, that is metal culture declining, not the metal music. It is declining since last so many years. And we have had so many musicians and bands saying no to seeing metal as a permanent space. They have not had an economic choice in metal. May have seen metal as a subculture, but they have not seen metal as something which can sustain them. Metal musicians on the fourth stream, which I forgot to mention, which is event industry, the gig industry. A lot of musicians organizing gigs, starting record labels, starting management agencies. So these are four streams of income which are very much existent in the metal, and they are commercially successful. Streaming industry, is it successful? Is it commercially successful? Can you sustain yourself on it? Yes, you can. Are you able to success yourself on an artist management agency? Yes, you can. Are you able to sustain yourself on event management industry? Yes, you can, sir. Sustain yourself on that. Will you be able to sustain yourself on music education if you are one of the tutors or want to run academy, music academy? These ways you can get commercial success, and that is why you don't have to rely on a day job. I think this was one of those most important issues which I wanted to do patchwork on. You don't need a day job to sustain yourself. Even as a metal head, you don't need that. So number 6 is you can paint, draw tattoos. I've seen musicians who are tattoo artists. I've seen musicians who have distribute CDs and records and cassettes, merchandise, T-shirt shops, band T-shirt shops, to be very precise. And that is also one of those options. Yes, a metalhead can very much run a music shop. These are streams of income which are very much available to all the musicians. A lot of musicians across the globe taking up the music shops and sustaining themselves. They are running a bookstore. Uh, they are running a coffee shop. They are running a geek space, for example. They are running a very much like a restaurant and live music place. So they are running lounges, something like that. So these are the streams of income which are very much available within metal as well. So I have no idea why we didn't touch upon these subjects. So Marathi मध्ये because all of these streams of income are very much part of the metal culture itself. सो म्हणजे या सगळ्या स्ट्रीम ऑफ इन्कम हा मेटल कल्चरचा खूप चांगला मोठा पार्ट आहे आणि मला त्या परत मराठीत रिपीट करावं वाटतात. फॉर म्युझिक शॉप, तुमचं म्युझिकचं दुकान, तुम्ही रेकॉर्ड्स विकू शकता, तर सी डी विकू शकता, कॅसेट विकू शकता. म्युझिक एज्युकेशनमध्ये तुम्ही क्लासेस, इव्हेंट मॅनेजमेंट एजन्सी रन करू शकता, आर्टिस्ट मॅनेजमेंट एजन्सी, रेकॉर्ड लेबल रन करू शकता, आर्टवर्क विकू शकता, आर्टिस्ट बनू शकता, रायटर बनू शकता, जे मी इंग्लिशमध्ये बोलताना बोललो नाही. Metal heads are a very they are brilliant storytellers. I have seen one of those interviews where someone mentioned during his interview that uh, I was attracted to metal because metalheads are able to tell scary stories, you know, like someone dying somewhere, a ghost town, or maybe somebody resurrecting from somewhere, or the some demon has come into somebody's body, and some scary stories like that. We have all seen gore and grind all over metal, and that is very much talked about, and it is seen as one of those obscene ways of looking at things, and one of those obscene ways of portraying the art within metal. So, hey, तुम्ही का करता? Why you guys do this? Why don't you do the clean metal, you know, goodbye image? Hey, सगळे questions, we all have seen that, and these questions have everywhere else. Not only art, music, everywhere else also. The moral questions. If you are saying a metalhead is able to sustain himself without a day job, there won't be a declining culture in India. There won't be a declining metal culture in India. If there is a corporate definition of, sustaining yourself, then there is some expertise lacking. If you relate with it, please drop comments. So moving on to patchwork number 2. So how does the dominance of Bollywood and other mainstream genres impact metal music scene? Dominance of Bollywood is very much there. Like you can't deny that. Had there been no Bollywood in India, if there is no commercial in music in India, you won't be in a position to buy guitars and drums. There won't be growth of Western music. Any commercial industry to be available for the people is a must factor for any country. The commercial industry is very much required, and we call it Bollywood in India. So dominance of commercial industry is required, and that is how it will attract other people to come be part of it. And if that commercial music industry is not there, then you won't see music classes, you won't see a lot of good musicians, you won't see the legends, you won't see the art being talked about, music being fond of, you won't see kids aspiring to be musicians till they turn 18 at least. So if you don't want to call Bollywood Bollywood and call it a commercial industry, you will be able to see it with a different perspective. Does it impact the metal music scene? To my knowledge, metal is a niche. And before starting a band, every musician knows that. That recently I have learned that a lot of Indian metal bands have self sponsored themselves and gone to Europe. Metal is a complete DIY music scene. DIY spirit within metal is exceptional. You won't see this anywhere else. So mainstream genres will impact metal music scene. Metal is one of those music genres, and where they are open minded, authenticity they want to respect, inherently disinterested towards the commercial appeal. There is no competition at all. So that is number 2. Metal itself does not see other genres being their competitors. Metal itself has new community shared values which are being born almost parallel to the period in which that particular conversation is happening. The behavior of the people right now towards AI artificial intelligence, and conversations happening for authenticity, authentic art or expression are rare. Most of the times it is made to look like this is not the time. And if you see that conversations about spirituality, existence, metaphysical aspects of life, afterlife, all of it is talked about within heavy metal scene. The confrontations, those who have put a question mark to those that particular point in time. So that question mark you can see very much existed from the inception of metal genre itself. Somewhere it is also explained as metal being exclusionary youth community, distinctive and marginalized from the mainstream society. So these kind of terms and these kind of studies are very much existent all over metal genre. And if you see people saying, no, metal is all about, expressing yourself and, being true to yourself or being free. Metal is a marginalized voice, and it is a subculture. The music is one of those parts of the many things which metal portrays. Metal music alone is not everything. Metal music is one of the many things which metal subculture talks about. There is right, left, center, western, eastern, and medieval ideas within the metal. There are believers, there are non-believers, there are atheists. It does not have boundaries. That within this question, there has to be a sub-question that we all have to discuss. Are we seeing metal without boundaries? That is why the answering this question, does metal feel insecure because of the dominance of commercial music industry? And is it competing? Is it good enough if you compare it with that? So there won't be an easy answer. The other side is other genres are having an impact, but metal is not feeling insecure. The rise of rap, hip hop, EDM, you can see all over metal. Therefore, there is an impact of other mainstream genres on metal music scene. There are all things impacting metal all the time. The beauty, however, the identity of metal has not changed. You guys should comment your reasons. The next patchwork. Why is audience engagement with metal shows in India limited compared to global scenes? The unique lyrics, separateness from the rest of the society, the exclusionary youth community, acceptance, and the differences and indifference within the community. And that is how you know there is ever evolving sort of attitude within the community and tolerance also. That is why the audience engagement within the metal shows is limited in India, because the exposure to the metal scene itself is limited because of its tolerant values and because of edgy attitude, unique artistic perspectives, and its evolving nature. Metal could not establish as if it's one particular thing within metal. Many conversations happening, so many different kinds of people have come to metal shows all over India. Maybe there are musicians who are dressed like metalheads. However, audience engagement itself has been a tough part, because I think it's some sort of a wall, sort of a separateness which is maintained by bands from audiences. The culture itself makes that separateness happen. I want to appeal, if metal opens to, for example, families, grandparents, children, to other genders, to all communities at large, and the dissent, disagreements, and likes, dislikes, all communities are talked about, then metal will open itself to a huge audience. A language will play a huge part in this. The comparison between Indian metal audiences at gigs and comparison between global audiences will not exist. A caveat to this, that metal itself is without borders. If you are comparing between the particular country and the global scene, it won't be straight out comparison. Metal genres everywhere else was able to get attention from the mainstream industry. It was accepted by mainstream musicians as well as the media and general people. Collaborations between the commercial industry and metal have been very few. You have seen metalheads everywhere else, but people from other genres are not seen. People from commercially successful backgrounds are not seen within the metal community. It's like gate passes where, yeah, you start off like a rock star, then eventually you become somebody who plays fusion, and then you again go into commercially successful setup where you have to do certain things for mainstream. You do the commercially accepted form of art expression. All of a sudden later you want to reunite as a band or reunite as experience which we want to relive, because they are seeing it as a phase. They are also accepting that metal itself is one of those energetic or adrenaline full periods of their life. They don't see it as culture. They have separated themselves. Therefore, there are no collaborations happening. I think one of ways could be the collaborations between the commercial industry and metal. So those open-minded musicians or open-minded offers, not seen them quite often. I would want to start a conversations where the commercial industry is offering something to metal industry and metal musicians are accepting those, that subculture is accepted, or at least talk about, oh, this mic stand, this did not exist. This is also one of patchworks which I had to do. Next question: what role does cultural atmosphere at live shows play in shaping rock metal culture in India? The cultural atmosphere at live shows shaped a lot. A major portion of metal, one is internet, one is live shows. शोचं atmosphere definitely युनिक असतं आणि तुम्हाला तिथे बसायला जागा नसते, विच आय डोंट लाईक. सगळ्यांना उभं राहायला लागतं, खुर्च्या नसतात. खुर्च्या असायला पाहिजे, 2-4 तरी. Lights असायला पाहिजे. You want to see the person who is standing next to you. Clothing is major part of that cultural atmosphere. Way in which the frontman reacts to people. The drummers react to people. Me being the drummer. Flea markets, the art within metal community is being sold, merchandise is sold, ways in which you can sustain within metal. People flying all over the world to attend a metal show, a rock show, people coming from all over the world attending Bangalore open air in India, and that was has made me really proud. Between 2023 and 24, it was also an acknowledgement from the commercial industry that independent artists matter. There was a petition filed before court. There were some discussions happening around whether the ticketing websites should be regularized, whether there should be a particular law. It was one of those unique ways in which I was confronted with the question whether the legal system itself accommodate, all the demands, open the legal ways in which the people will be compensated for given the new IT rules and Information Technology Act, labor law, human resource issues in creative industry. Then there are issues about fair play, contract duration of the artist contract, working condition compliances of the artists, whether they were properly treated by the music industry, event industry between that particular year, and whether there are valid legal contracts of accepting and removing artists from projects. All of this, has it been seen legally by the artists themselves? Is there enough awareness? All of these questions had confronted me, and some questions related to the art itself, the music valuation, the royalties, copyright law, the trademark law. How well do bands use all of this? The of IPRS, PPL, the streaming laws related to the streaming industry. All of this had confronted me. Intellectual property laws, contractual and commercial issues between the artists and the revenue, exit clauses, recording, publishing, the royalty distribution, performance and exhibition contracts, the scope, cancellations, work hire agreements. Does all of this happen on the paper? The NOCs, the requirements of the law about how to approach all of those NOCs. So all of these questions had confronted me. The media expression and the free speech within the music community itself, between the artists, musician, event curators, whether artists are able to put their thoughts, expressions, are they able to go ahead without the censorship and the bans? Has there been enough crowd management, and the liabilities, have the liabilities been answered? Was there enough security present between those events? Has the government agency reflected properly before giving the permissions, or have the event organizers done their job responsibly of making sure the security and everything else? Have we said that use of AI is enough, or have we confronted use of AI also, or do you want to continue the use of AI, or are you saying that we want authentic artistic expression and music content? All of this has confronted me before. These legal aspects were never talked about. The live show plays role in shaping the cultural atmosphere in India. The next question is, how can regional language and culture contribute to the growth of metal in India? So it has contributed to the growth of metal in India. There have been metal artists which were region specific. की मलाही स्वतःला असं इथे सांगावं असं वाटतं की मराठी कल्चर मध्ये असे लोक होऊन गेले आणि इतके असे महापुरुष होऊन गेले की ज्यांनी ज्या गोष्टी मेटलनी कन्फ्रंट केलेले आहे, ज्या प्रकारचं सबकल्चर और रेटनेस युनिकनेस, तो डिस्टिंक्टिव्ह ऑटिट्यूड जो मेटलनी फॉर्म्युलेट केलेला आहे, और जे ऑपोजिशन मेटलनी नेहमी क्रिएट करायचा डिसइंटरेस्ट जो दाखवलेला आहे कमर्शियल अपील पासून, हा सगळा आणि टॉलरन्स सुद्धा प्रत्येक कल्चरमध्ये हा एक पार्ट असतो. जसं म्युझिकमध्ये मेटल हा पार्ट आहे, तसा मराठी संस्कृतीमध्ये या महापुरुषांनी जे प्रश्न उत्तर केले, उपस्थित केले, तो एक पार्ट आहे. या दोन्ही गोष्टींमध्ये रिलेटिबिलिटी जी, यामुळे मला असं वाटतं की रिजनल लँग्वेजचा रोल मेटलमध्ये पण खूप मोठा आहे आणि असायला हवा. तो जर असला, आपल्या संस्कृतीमधल्या बऱ्याच लोकांबाबतीत, बऱ्याच गोष्टींबाबतीत, बऱ्याच हालपेष्टांबाबत पण एक रिलेटेबल ऑडियन्स उभा करू शकतो, जो रिलेटेबल ऑडियन्स आपल्या प्रकारच्या म्युझिकला ऐकण्यासाठी तयार असेल. आयडियलाइज मे बी मेटलला बऱ्याच गोष्टी नाही करता आल्या, त्या एक्स्ट्रीम खूप लोकांना खूप लवकर वाटतात. तो एक मेजर इश्यू झालाय. पण रिजनल लँग्वेज मध्ये जे एक डिबेट एस्टॅब्लिश होईल त्याने, ते खूप युनिक असेल. त्या प्रकारच्या गोष्टी या वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड मध्ये झालेल्या आहेत ऑलरेडी. त्यांचं कल्चर रिप्रेझेंट करायचा जो प्रकार केलेला आहे त्यांच्या म्युझिकमध्ये, तो खूप खूप युनिक आहे आणि तो एक्सपेरिमेंट सक्सेसफुल. असाच एखादा एक्सपेरिमेंट मला अजून इथे व्हायला वाटतो. सो हे पॅचवर्क 6 क्वेश्चन्सवरचं मला करायचं होतं आणि दिस इज वन ऑफ दोज पॅचवर्क्स व्हिडिओ. होप यू हॅव लाईक्ड इट अँड लेट्स मीट अगेन समटाईम सून.